I started my insecticide development career in DuPont back in the mid-1990s, developing indoxacarb in cotton, pulse crops and a range of vegetable crops. Rynaxapyr is globally supported by high-level scientists over at the headquarters of FMC. The development of the Vantacor formulation has resulted in a highly concentrated 600 gram per litre, easy to use and handle formulation. A 2.5 litre container of Vantacor applied at the recommended use rate in pulses will treat 62.5 hectares of crop. To treat the same area with Vantacor, you'd need near 5 kilos of product. The Vantacor formulation control the target pest effectively. In the absence of any adjuvant, the suspension concentrate will achieve better efficacy than the water dispersible granule. FMC's plan is to achieve registration of Vantacor in a number of the field crops that are currently covered by permits. So that will include a range of new crops and also additional pests. FMC conducted 9 small plot crop safety and efficacy trials back in the 2019-20 season. And the trials targeted primarily Helicoverpa species across a range of crops, including chickpeas, field peas, lupins, and mung beans. The difficulty of controlling Heliothis in mung beans comes down to the feeding architecture of the crop. And quite often when the Heliothis hatch from their eggs in a mung bean crop, they move into the flowers. So the larvae can be present in a hidden feeding site. I remember a mung bean trial conducted on the Darling Downs at Pampas. It was quite a dense mung bean crop. The Heliothis population was about 10 larvae per square metre, very small to small stage, but there were also some larger larvae. Out to 12 days after spraying, the insect population remained relatively constant, so it was a good test for the product. Both the Vantacor and Vantacor treatments had performed similarly, and they'd reduced the Helicoverpa population down to around 2 larvae per square metre. That trial was also yielded. So both the Vantacor and Vantacor treatment significantly out-yielded the untreated, but there was no significant difference in yield between the Vantacor and the Vantacor. You could visually see the pods in the untreated having been chewed out by the Heliothis, whereas that wasn't evident in the Vantacor or Vantacor treatments. The study was done on a soybean crop. It was clearly shown that the efficacy of both the Vantacor and the Vantacor in controlling those third instar Helicoverpa armigera was equivalent. That the efficacy, in addition, in that study, some newly emerged leaves that weren't treated at application were also sampled. That evaluation showed that there was no difference in the local translocation of the Rynaxapyr between the Vantacor and the Vantacor formulation. So the crop's been beet sheeted at 4, 9 and 15 days after spraying, and In the untreated over that period of time, the numbers have increased from about 10 grubs per metre of row up to 31 grubs per metre of row. In the Vantacor and the Vanacore treatment, both treatments have held the larvae numbers to around 0.1 to 0.3 larvae per metre of row, which is all below the economic spray threshold. So it's a pretty spectacular result really with the treatments, because considering the high insect pressure, the increasing insect pressure and the large canopied crop, the Vantacor has performed very well. It's important to invert the container maybe 10 times just to make sure that the formulation in the container is well mixed. It's also recommended that Vantacor is applied with a non-ionic surfactant, targeting medium spray quality when the product needs to be applied under environmental conditions which align to best management practices. The key thing is to spray the product at the economic spray threshold levels. Crops like cotton and mung beans, where there are significant hidden feeding sites for the Helianthus to get into, it's important to try and control those early instar stages before they get entrenched in those hidden feeding sites. It's really important that we focus on current resistance management strategies and to try and rotate it with different modes of action so that we do reduce the selection pressure. I am very confident the key to product performance is availability of the active ingredient to the pest to offer crop protection. The Vantacor formulation offers this, and the trial work conducted by FMC has demonstrated in the field that the efficacy of Vantacor and Vanacore is very similar.